TMS toolbars in the VCL UI Pack offer two image lists, one for the enabled images and a second image list, which is called disabled images, for images that are supposed to show the disabled state. This is what we're going to look at. It's not different from using enabled images. I just wanted to show this because it looks really, really good. And if you have vectors without color, as I have, for example, that are just the line art of these, it gives a very good visual effect without much work. So we have to drop a second advanced SVG image collection, and we're going to call it disabled images, because this image list is going to take all the images that are for the disabled state. And of course, we also need a second image list of the type T virtual image list. This time we're going to name it disabled image list. And this is a key difference between how Embarcadero builds its toolbar components and how TMS builds its toolbar components. Embarcadero wants you to use the same image list for both states. TMS rather has you build two image lists for the different states. So now we add the images just as we did for the enabled images. Just like before for the enabled images, we have to import them into the image list from the image collection. We of course also have to set the image collection property of the virtual image list to disabled images. We select the toolbar, select the disabled images property, select disabled image list, and that's all it takes. Of course, we need some way to change the enabled and disabled state of the button. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a button on the form, and that button is going to change the state of all the buttons of the toolbar. So let's implement the onClick event. We need to define a couple of variables. Of course, we need to define an integer variable for the loop that will iterate all the buttons on the toolbar. We need the actual toolbar button, toolbar button, and now we iterate all the buttons on the toolbar and switch their states. So for I equals 0 to, and this is toolbar, for that we need to rename our toolbar component to toolbar. I should have done this right away as a good developer. Toolbar dot, and we have the property toolbar control count -1 do begin, or L toolbar button is set to toolbar, and you might have glimpsed that we have toolbar controls, and we take the one at index I, and we need to cast it as a T advanced toolbar button. Be certain if you have different controls on the toolbar to check if the typecast is valid as first. What I'm going to do is if assigned L toolbar button, so if it is actually not a toolbar button, the application will still work, and L toolbar button dot enabled equals L toolbar button enabled. Guess what? We want to switch, so not. Before we can actually run the application, let me do this right now, because we forgot something. Change the state. This is all empty. Of course, we did not double click the virtual image list editor. We have to add, and here you see all the images again. We select all, click OK, OK. But there's also the autofill property that you might have a look at that will fill the image list whenever you make a change to the image collection. So we run the application, and now all the enabled images are visible. We change the state. Here you can no longer click the toolbar, but all the buttons are in the disabled state. Just in case if you end up with something like this, it doesn't mean that the vector support isn't working correctly, you just forgot to set the width and height of the image list component to the correct size. Of course, you should do this in code if it's not a demo application to make sure that the enabled list and disabled list use the same size.